Welcome to SA News Weekly News Update. We'll cover the top stories from across the United States, important developments worldwide, and new insights from the world of health and science.
In a week marked by the most intense military activity in the Persian Gulf in decades, the United States executive branch has signaled a hardening of its stance toward the Islamic Republic of Iran. Following a series of heavy bombardments by U.S. and Israeli forces, President Donald Trump stated via social media that the current offensive, now entering its second week, will only conclude upon the unconditional surrender of the Iranian government. This rhetoric follows the reported death of Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, which has left a power vacuum in Tehran and sparked both mourning and celebration across the region and the Iranian diaspora. Domestically, the administration's Maximum Pressure 2.0 strategy has triggered a sharp divide in Washington. While the White House maintains that the strikes are necessary to dismantle Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile capabilities, Democratic leaders in the Senate have pushed for a resolution to curtail the president's war-making powers. However, Senate Republicans, led by Majority Leader John Thune, have largely stood by the commander-in-chief, arguing that the president is acting within his authority to neutralize a clear and present threat to national security. The landscape of the U.S. House of Representatives faced a significant tremor this week as veteran Republican Representative Darrell Issa announced his retirement. A 12-term congressman and a fixture in Southern California politics, Issa's decision comes in the wake of a drastic redistricting process following Prop 50. The new boundaries for his San Diego area district have been redrawn to favor Democratic candidates significantly, making a path to re-election mathematically daunting for the GOP incumbent. Issa's departure is not an isolated event, but rather a symptom of the shifting tectonic plates in American electoral geography. Across the country, legal and legislative battles over fair maps are reaching a fever pitch as the 2026 midterm cycle approaches. In California, the Nonpartisan Redistricting Commission's latest maps have forced several incumbents to reconsider their futures, potentially handing a strategic advantage to the Democratic Party in their quest to reclaim or solidify a House majority. Political analysts note that Issa's retirement marks the end of an era for California Republicans, as he was one of the state's most prominent and well-funded voices in Washington. His exit opens up a toss-up seat that is expected to draw a crowded field of candidates and record-breaking campaign spending. As the March primary season begins, the focus shifts to how these redrawn lines will impact the overall balance of power in a Congress already deeply divided over foreign wars and domestic economic policy. The global spotlight turned to Italy this Friday as the 2026 Winter Paralympic Games officially commenced with a vibrant opening ceremony at the historic Verona Arena. Following the conclusion of the Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina, the Paralympics bring together a record number of over 600 para-athletes representing 79 nations. This year's Games are set to be the largest in history, featuring 79 sets of medals across 6 core sports: para-alpine skiing, para-biathlon, para-cross-country skiing, para-ice hockey, para-snowboard, and wheelchair curling. The opening ceremony emphasized the theme of resilience and unity, with the ancient Roman amphitheater providing a dramatic backdrop for the parade of athletes. For the first time, the Games are utilizing a revised results calculation system in skiing events, designed to allow athletes with different functional abilities to compete more equitably in the standing, sitting, and visually impaired categories. Italian President Sergio Mattarella officially declared the Games open, highlighting the power of sport to transcend physical and political barriers. Beyond the competition, the Milan Cortina 2026 organizers have faced questions regarding the environmental sustainability of the mountain venues. However, officials have pointed to the Legacy Plan, which utilizes 90% existing or temporary facilities. As the first events begin in Cortina d'Ampezzo and Tesero, the world is watching, not just for athletic excellence, but for a celebration of human spirit during a time of significant global tension. The pivotal year for space exploration has officially begun. This week, the Senate Commerce Committee moved to mark up the NASA Authorization Act of 2026, a bipartisan bill aimed at solidifying American leadership in the lunar domain. The legislation seeks to establish a permanent base on the Moon and extends the operational life of the International Space Station through at least 2032. As NASA prepares for the historic Artemis II mission, which will see humans travel around the Moon for the first time in over 50 years, the agency is also looking toward the future of deep space health. New research from the Tissue Chips in Space initiative was highlighted this week, showing how microgravity environments on the ISS are being used to study human aging and organ-level diseases. By sending organs on chips to space, scientists are identifying molecular targets that could slow the aging process and improve treatments for osteoporosis and immune deficiency here on Earth. This synergy between astroparticle physics and medical physics is proving that the road to Mars may also be the road to longer, healthier lives for those on the ground. In a significant humanitarian development reported this week, the Annapurna Campaign, an initiative led by the disciples of Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj, has successfully addressed a decades-long waterlogging crisis in Kamai village, located in the Mathura district of Uttar Pradesh. For nearly 30 years, residents of this village and the surrounding Govardhan region faced a severe environmental and economic challenge, as approximately 1,000 bighas of fertile agricultural land remained submerged under stagnant water. This persistent flooding had rendered the land barren, stripping local farmers of their primary source of livelihood and causing significant structural damage to village homes. According to reports from the site, the stagnant water reached depths of up to 4 feet in some areas, creating hazardous living conditions and health concerns for the local population. Despite various attempts over the last 3 decades, the issue remained unresolved until the recent intervention by volunteers from Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj's organization. Utilizing a large-scale drainage operation and community-led engineering efforts, the campaign managed to clear the water, restoring the hope of local farmers who can now look toward reclaiming their fields for cultivation.
And that wraps up this week's bulletin. Thank you for joining SA News, and we'll see you next week. Truth that you want to know.